Hello and welcome to Rada Publishing House. I'm your host, Rada Nilia, and today we have a very special guest, Michael Barrios, who is featured in Awakening Starseeds Volume 3, Dreaming into the Future. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you, Rada. Thanks for the invite.
It's so wonderful to have you here. And I really appreciate, we just did a little bit of a breath work. You do breath work and it was incredible. So I just wanted to share about Michael. So he is a holistic trainer and a breathwork practitioner, and I just got to experience that. He helps to align individuals from inside out, bringing balance in their lives and making a holistic living fun and sustainable. And that is exactly what we are needing in this world right now. So good job. And
Thank you.
you're in the Bay Area?
I'm currently in the Bay Area, San Mateo to be exact, but I
Okay.
do have clients online.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. I bet you can probably meet with people all over the world, wherever they are, because with the power of Zoom, we can meet anywhere.
Yeah.
Would you like to tell us a little bit about your chapter and what inspired you to write it?
So my chapter um, is about kind of my vision of what a trainer should be. I mean, I worked as a coach, athletic coach, for over 15 years.
Mm,
And there's a certain type of a person who goes into coaching. Then I got into personal training, and I saw that all of us have our own um, injuries, our own pain, and sometimes we kind of push that onto our clients. And so,
mhm,
um, through a lot of pain myself, through relationship, through pain, through physical pain from being an athlete, I kind of fell into kind of um, the holistic approach, meaning that I'm viewing the body as a system of systems.
mm,
And that kind of had to happen to me because my life was like I was in pain, I was depressed, I was working a job that I didn't love, but I always like somehow coached. And so my piece in the book is about being a holistic trainer, knowing
mhm.
that we have to heal parts of ourselves or integrate parts of ourselves so that we could help as many people as possible and not project our pain, not project of like, oh, I know what to do to you right away.
Mhm.
I think holding space has been thrown around quite a bit, but it for good reason, right? If we could hold space as a trainer, um, in a way that we're not breaking down clients but building them up,
Mhm.
allowing them to figure out their authentic like style of like training, because to be honest, it shouldn't you shouldn't dread going to work out. You shouldn't dread doing a diet plan.
Yeah,
You know, life should be fun. And so
I
with
agree.
with my clients, we try to figure out a way to obviously get the results that they want, but find balance.
Yeah, that's
And
important.
yeah, and so my life has been full of like finding my edge, finding
Mhm.
like I pole vaulted all the way up and through college. And what pole vaulting is it's a crazy sport. Um, and you kind of have to be a little out there to like run as fast as you can and fling yourself in the air. And so that brought a lot of pain, emotionally and physically. Those were my edges. And then I
Mhm.
found center. And so now in my practice, I have a lot of trainers and coaches and even healers ask me questions on how to actually be healthy,
Mm.
on how to understand, because fitness or health isn't just about fitness. It isn't about how much you could lift or how your body looks. It's more how your body feels.
Yeah.
It's more how like um, one thing that I love and I think I touch on a little bit in the book is everything has polarities.
Mhm.
Working out has a polarity.
Mhm.
It's working in. It's when we cultivate that energy or that life force or that chi so that we don't leave with a deficit. And that's what working out is.
Mhm.
You have energy and then you leave working out at a deficit so you could build certain things.
Mhm.
So I see a future that trainers are all holistic, that they understand the body is a system of systems, and that we can't just see a problem and fix it like that.
Yeah.
It's like so hard to have an answer, and
Mhm.
that's kind of in the fitness industry. That's exactly what you're telling the a prospective client. I have the answer,
Yeah.
and I want to open up dialogue with the client is and to teach other coaches and healers is their bodies have an innate healing system. As
Mhm.
a coach, I'm a guide. I'm walking beside you. I'm not gonna push you. I'm not going to pull you. That
Yeah.
takes a lot of energy from the coach and the trainer, and that's what a lot of people look for. Like, I just need this motivation. Um,
It's not sustainable though, I think, I feel like if I may interject, like I hired a trainer and she was really hard in a way that wasn't sustainable for me. It actually felt like it was causing more injury than good. And so I was really starting to dread it, like this doesn't feel good. It was actually depleting me and my body. And I was like, I want to use lighter weights. And she was all about like bulk and going in. And I was like, wait, but that's not, I'm trying to let you know, like that's not what I'm going for. I just want to feel healthy and toned, and that's it. And so I feel like what you said earlier really made so much sense. Like like not projecting onto the client, like that's what she likes to do, but what I like to do is more yin. It's more
yeah,
little, softer and slower and not so much intensity. So I'm going, yeah, that's incredible. That's what trainers do need. And that's happened a few times. Trainers, they always want to they want to push you past your comfort. I get that. But at the same time, it's like you have to have a communication like where you're being heard,
yeah,
and that dialogue and like you said, holding space, because if she was really present, she would see that it's causing more hurt than good.
yeah. And it's so true. And I have a mentor, and he's in the Filipino spiritual arts, and he's a martial artist, and he told me that if you could break someone down,
Mhm.
you have to understand and know how to build them up.
Mm.
And
Mhm.
so it, I tell people, like, anyone could make someone feel sore, anyone could make anyone sweat.
Mhm.
That is not a great indicator of the workout. And I use, you know, uh, evidence based or science based fundamentals in my workout.
Mhm.
I understand how many reps that will allow you to build muscle. I understand how many reps will build strength and all of that. That's all the good stuff. But
Mhm.
you as a client, you had this feeling of like, no, like my body feels this way.
Mhm. Mhm.
And we have to respect that part.
Mhm.
So as a coach, you ride the line of a person's edge, right? You make them uncomfortable enough to get growth,
Mhm.
not enough to kind of hurt them. There is, and what I'm seeing now, I mean, I was an athlete for over 10 years. I would train twice a day. I was also the type of coach who was like, no pain, no gain.
Mhm.
That left, like, if you know any collegiate athletes, a lot of them are still like 10 years, 20 years out from competing. A lot of them are still injured. A lot of them
Mhm.
still have that pain from before. And we say, oh, that's from being old. It's not from being old. It's from pushing our bodies too hard that we didn't need it. It wasn't
Yeah.
sustainable. And so figuring that out is like holding space,
Mm,
understanding that there's assessment. And that's a big
mhm,
thing that I don't see in the industry is we don't assess. And most of the time trainers are guessing. If we don't assess, we're guessing. And so being able to teach people to have there are certain variables that we could look at other than the fact that I love asking my clients, how do you feel? How does
mm,
your body feel?
mm.
And what we know in um, a lot of us, we disassociate. We get out of our body when
Yeah.
things are going bad. And then when we go work out, we want to beat our body up because we feel like we deserve to like feel a certain way. We feel like we need to beat ourselves up because we did something bad. And I want to try to teach people, and I do teach my clients that we don't have to do something to deserve food. We
Mhm,
don't have to do something to like uh, we we don't have to have like an outcome, or we don't have to hurt ourselves to get somewhere,
mm. That's
right?
beautiful. Yeah.
We have to, and this is especially the women clients. I coach like 90% of my clients are women, and a big thing is the self-love.
Hmm.
Is the reason why we're training, or a lot of us are training, is because we don't love a part of ourselves.
Hmm.
And lo and behold, when we accept that part of ourselves, no matter where we're at, it's not like, oh, I'm obese and I love myself and I'm gonna stay obese. No, it's like you know you're obese. And what love really is if I truly love myself, I'm gonna eat the foods that nourish me. I'm gonna get the movement that allows me to feel good. Not too much, not too little.
Hmm.
I'm gonna look at myself in the mirror with confidence and say I love you. And that's in one of my questionnaires. Is
Mm. That's
when you
beautiful.
look at yourself in the mirror and say I love you.
Mm.
A lot of my clients can't say that. And so
Mm.
my approach is very much all about self-love.
Hmm.
It's all about finding balance.
That's so beautiful. I can imagine like we need more of you. You need to teach coaches, teach
Mhm.
trainers how to work with their clients because it does feel like they're sort of beating you up. I'm
Yeah.
like, wait a minute, I'm paying you to sort of beat me up here. And I was like, no, I think I'm just gonna go do some yoga.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't feel right. And it kind of gave me anxiety to go back to the gym. So yeah, I really love your approach. I feel like this is something that could be brought to a whole new level of training other trainers so that they can be educated as to what people really do want, because I think maybe people don't know what they want when they come in,
I
but
know.
then they realize what they don't want, you know.
Yeah.
And then, like, I want to feel like I know how to do cool things when I go myself and feel empowered in that. And I think, yeah, I feel like this is a new paradigm, and that's what this book is all about, is like we're dreaming into the future of what's possible, because we know that all the old ways haven't really been working, like the no pain no gain, and that like okay, it is good to push yourself. I believe in
Yeah.
discipline and certain things.
Structure.
But like constant self-torture isn't exactly like it's not as noble as people make it out to be.
It's not.
you know?
Yeah, because we see it in the movies. I mean, I love Rocky. Like I would watch Rocky all the time
Yeah.
before my competitions. The thing is, Rocky's a movie and it had an ending,
Hmm.
right? Our life, we want to believe that, we're living it every day. We can't live like Rocky every day. You know? We want to enjoy parts of our life and being able to know the foods that cause us pain and knowing the foods that give us energy.
Yes, that's so important. And it's hard to it's that those are all things that are like mysteries, because it feels like there's so much information, and then it's always changing all the
Yeah.
time. and like the food chain told us what was good, but then it turned out to be bad. And it's like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, you know, like
Yeah. That's a big thing that I work with my clients on is like all this information. And I love one using your stool or using your poop as the indicator of if something is good for you or not.
mm,
Um, Seeing how it is will
hmm
allow you to like, oh, I had too much fat, or I had too much carbohydrates, or I had not enough carbohydrates, or I had too much protein. Like just knowing that alone changes people's ways of like eating.
wow.
And so like I mean I do some of my clients get intolerant food intolerance tests which
hmm
work, but it's it's not as exact as most people believe. But
hmm
having I call it a relationship, a food relationship log.
mm,
You eat the foods
hmm
and then an hour or two later, write how you feel. Do you feel energized? Do you feel bloated? Do you feel gassy?
hmm
Those are the indicators that like okay, because what may be medicine to you may be poison to me.
Wow, that's profound. That is profound because, yeah, not everything, it's not a straightforward line when it comes to this. Our bodies want different things and need different things. And it's true. Like, yeah, sometimes you eat something, and I just had a salad earlier and I got more energy. Like the
Mhm.
avocados and all that stuff really energizes me. But then like if I eat bready, like things with a lot of bread, I get really like, ooh, and it's like, you know, that horrible feeling, but you kind of are used to it because it's everywhere, right? So
Yeah.
it's just, I think that's a whole new level of consciousness. And since we are on this path of consciousness, like food and how we feel, and like, yeah, my consciousness is not doing so great when I'm eating bread and, you
Mhm.
know, like having that like fogginess, and that's not so great. But when I'm eating more raw foods, I'm feeling way more energized and alive. And it does make a huge difference, but it's a mystery.
Yeah.
It's felt like a mystery, you know.
And having that like relationship log with
Hmm
food is like 3 months of doing that, you will start to see the patterns.
Wow, that's
And
brilliant.
yeah, you only have to do it for 3 months because you have the rest of your life.
Wow. So your clients actually do food blogs, and then they figure out, they actually track the meals and then they assess them with you, or
So I have Google Sheets, and they don't have to write the amount because I don't work with calories. I don't really call them macros. I call
Mhm.
them fats, proteins, and carbohydrates. But just seeing how, just writing down the food
Mhm.
and then seeing how they feel.
Wow.
It's very powerful, and it's just like any embodiment practice.
Yeah.
You're putting yourself in your body and saying, "How do you feel?"
Mhm.
And that a lot of us go through the day without feeling our body, and that's why breath work has been so cool. And then I started getting into ecstatic dance because all
Mhm.
of these things are just putting us in our body. So
Yeah.
we're floating off somewhere, or we don't want to be where we're at, or we just don't like to feel how we're feeling. And so that's that's a signal to say, hey, I think we need to love ourselves a little bit more. And there's all these other cool things to do.
Mhm.
And it starts with just like seeing how you feel.
I love that. Yeah, for the starseed types, yeah, anchoring into the body is a big deal. I feel like many of us, and I'm not trying to generalize, but per feedback have been like, you know, we're it's easier to just fly around and like we're multidimensional and we know how to access that. And so yeah, that's one of the things I've been like really working on a lot, is like the embodiment in the body. And yeah, dance, belly dance, and all of those things that
Yes.
make us feel like grounded, and it feels really good, because while we're here, we might as well enjoy every bit of it. And part of that is
Yes.
feeling feeling good in here, you know.
Hmm.
So that's beautiful. I really respect the work you do because it's very practical, pragmatic, but it helps in every area, whether it be spirituality, whether it be in work, it's going to bring people back into their center, back into groundedness,
Yeah.
and how to maximize this bodysuit, this vehicle, this incredible vehicle, so that we can do what we came here to do and enjoy it and feel good. Those are really important things. So I love what you're doing, and I can definitely see how you can impact a lot of trainers and help to train trainers as this new method of connectedness into the breath, into the body, bringing breath work, because I love the breath work. I can't imagine how different my workouts would have been if I would have done breath work like
Yeah.
before starting. Like it would have just anchored me right into the body, and then more energy, more focus. And yeah, it's beautiful.
One thing that I love breathwork, I could talk about it all the time, but what I see most people when they work out, they're like, I need motivation.
Hmm.
Right? We went through just, I think it was about 5 minutes of breath work, but when I do a full somatic release session, it clears the whole entire body, creates more capacity.
Hmm.
When people think they need motivation, it's not that they lack motivation. I mean, they're going out, they're wanting to work out, they're wanting to eat healthy. It's that they don't have capacity in their bodies because we're we're we have so much stress. And
Yeah.
stress, the body takes it in all the same. It
Hmm.
doesn't matter if you're stuck in traffic or getting chased by a lion or eating foods that cause stress in the body and you can't really tell until you get that disease, right? And so the breath clears that up, creates more capacity, and people already have this inner willpower
Hmm.
to go and do things. And so, like, just the breath work alone will change people's lives because
Hmm.
then the motivation is there. It's only because they created more capacity. Our cups are probably full. If we're reacting from emotions, because
Yeah.
emotions are just energy in motion,
Hmm.
right? And most of the time, our problems come from getting that emotion and then creating a story,
Hmm.
and then the emotion runs.
Hmm.
I heard somewhere
Latching to it.
that emotions only last 90 seconds. So if
Wow.
we feel that emotion, that anger, that sadness, let it go through us without the attachment of a story. It'll suck, but we won't hold it in. We won't hold
Yeah.
it into our body. And that's
Yeah.
what people release when they're doing
Mhm.
breath work with me. People will scream, they'll shout, they'll cry, they'll laugh, they'll move their body around. Some speak in different tongues. It's quite an amazing show. But what I see is most people lack capacity, and
Mhm.
our stress levels are like all the way up.
Yeah.
And we could do more and love more if we just took time to breathe and create more capacity inside our bodies.
Hmm. That's so beautiful. That's so true. Yeah. If you do breath work, like you check yourself before and then you check yourself after, the difference is night and day.
Hmm.
The breath work is just it's so grounding. I really, really, really love it. I want to explore more. But what is a particular breath work that you do?
I do somatic breath work. It used to be called somatic release breath work,
Yeah,
um, but it's called somatic breath work.
that's incredible. So do you do that with your clients, like that you train with, or?
So I hold a class every week. It's an open class. I'm starting to go online as well.
Yay.
Um, but when clients first work with me, they have mandatory breathing sessions.
Ah,
It's
nice.
because it's so transformational. But most
Mhm.
people like, oh, I know how to breathe. If we do a test and you take 3 deep breaths, are you breathing through the chest or are you breathing in the belly?
Mhm.
If you're breathing, if the hand on the chest moves first, most likely your life will be rocked when you do one session of breath work. Some people say it's one person said it was like, all their years of talk therapy. They were able to release all this thing, all this like trauma that we
Mhm.
store into our bodies in one breathwork session without telling me what they had to go through, but they had the same emotional release.
It seems like a pretty sweet deal, you guys. Like, doing a breathwork session, like, yeah, it's just, it does, because you're unconscious in a sense of like, it's just pulling, it feels like it's pulling stuff up, and it's like letting go. You just feel these waves of emotion, and
Mm-hmm.
you're not even sure where they may come from. It's
Right.
very subconscious. And but then afterwards you're like, and I feel so much better, like lighter.
Mm-hmm.
um it's just incredible. And I have done a few of those like really deep somatic ones, and really would like to learn more about the daily breath work. And
Yeah.
it's so powerful and impactful. And yeah, I imagine if the whole world was doing it every day, and they did this in schools, like what would be the impact
The
for
impact,
children and everyone,
everybody would be a lot kinder.
Yeah. Yeah.
They would feel lighter. If you feel
Yeah.
light, if you feel
Mhm.
light on your feet, like you're gonna be a lot nicer. And that alone, you know, that alone, energy is not created or lost. It's transferred. So if I'm nice to
Mhm.
you, then you're nice to someone else, and they're all nice to everyone else. So I think, I mean, breath work in the schools alone will change the world.
Oh, imagine that. That would just be amazing. Well, you never know where this is going to lead you. I foresee you doing a lot of great things in really big groups of people. And I'm just really happy and grateful that you stepped into this book project, and that you're sharing your work and your vision. And I think it's really important that men, like yourself, divine masculine, are stepping forward and not hiding out, because it's easy to do,
Hmm.
with everything going on. It's overwhelming. But this is part of leadership, is like sharing your work, sharing your voice, sharing your vision. And so thank you. As I say, like, every person that steps forward is leading the way. We're creating a trail, and opening it up, the space, so it's easier for others to come forward. And the work you're doing is incredible, just incredible. I really enjoyed that little breath work that we did before.
Hmm.
And thank you so much, Michael, for sharing your time, your energy, and your wisdom here. And if anyone wants to connect with Michael, his information will be below.
Thank you. It was an honor.
Thank you so much. And as always, you guys can get the book, Awakening Starseeds, Dreaming into the Future, in the bio. And, it's going to be a beautiful book. There's so many amazing people. We have quite a few Indigenous elders as well, which I'm really excited about. So we're bringing all these voices together, and we're dreaming into the future together. And we know that it's not just possible, but it's promised. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Michael. Much love and blessings to you all. Bye for now.